Welcome back to Globewise Entertainment. In today's video, we're diving into the darker side of Hollywood's golden age, revealing some of the most corrupt actors whose scandals and controversies shocked the world. From hidden secrets to shocking behaviors, these iconic stars weren't just known for their talent, they made headlines for all the wrong reasons. The golden age of Hollywood, roughly 1920s to 1960s, was filled with glamour, creativity, and iconic films. However, it was also an era where scandal, corruption, and controversy often lurked behind the scenes. Some actors became infamous for their unethical behavior, personal scandals, and involvement in corrupt activities. Here are 20 actors who were associated with corruption or scandals during the golden age. If you haven't subscribed to Globewise Entertainment yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more exclusive content about Hollywood history, iconic stars, and untold stories. 11. Rita Hayworth. The corruption of Hollywood star Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth was once the epitome of Hollywood glamour during the golden age. Known for her striking beauty and dazzling dance moves, she became one of the biggest stars of the 1940s, with films like Gilda and CoverGirl cementing her as a beloved icon. However, behind the scenes, Hayworth's life was far from the perfect image she projected on screen. Hayworth's rise to fame was accompanied by her tumultuous personal life, including failed marriages, financial struggles, and her battle with alcohol. Her glamorous public image masked the darker reality of her life, which was marred by manipulation and exploitation by the very industry that made her a star. One of the most damaging aspects of Hayworth's story was her relationship with the studios. She became a victim of the infamous Hollywood contract system, where stars were essentially owned by their studios and had little control over their careers. Hayworth was forced into roles that did not match her talents or desires, and her public image was often manipulated for publicity. Her personal life also contributed to the narrative of corruption. Hayworth's marriages, especially to Prince Ali Khan, were heavily scrutinized, and her romantic relationships became fodder for the tabloids. These scandals, while sensationalized, highlighted the pressures of maintaining a perfect image, despite the reality of her personal struggles. In addition to these challenges, Hayworth's mental health began to deteriorate, compounded by the relentless demands of Hollywood. Her career eventually waned, and she was publicly forgotten for a time. In her later years, it was revealed that Hayworth had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which added a tragic layer to her legacy. Despite her undeniable talent and status as one of the most celebrated actresses of her time, Rita Hayworth's life serves as a cautionary tale of corruption in the entertainment industry. Her story highlights the personal toll of fame, the manipulative nature of Hollywood, and the struggle for identity amidst constant public scrutiny. 12. Tyrone Power. The corruption of Tyrone Power. Tyrone Power, one of the most beloved heartthrobs of Hollywood's golden age, had a career that soared to unimaginable heights. With his striking good looks, charm, and undeniable acting talent, Power was adored by audiences around the world. However, behind the glamorous facade, his life was marred by personal scandals and a turbulent career trajectory that hinted at a darker side of the Hollywood star system. Power's rise to fame in the 1930s and 1940s was swift, cementing him as a leading man in films like The Mark of Zorro and Blood and Sand. But as his fame grew, so did the pressures and temptations of the Hollywood elite. Power's personal life, especially his romantic relationships, was often at odds with his clean-cut on-screen persona. He was known for numerous love affairs, including a scandalous relationship with actress Linda Christian, whom he married in 1949, and later a highly publicized affair with actress and singer Jean Peters. His marriage to Christian eventually unraveled, and Power's reputation as a charming but troubled man began to tarnish. He was also known for being involved in lavish parties and drinking, which fueled rumors of a reckless lifestyle. Despite the public admiration for his talent, The behind-the-scenes reality showed a man struggling with the pressures of fame, personal demons, and the corrupt nature of Hollywood's entertainment industry. Over time, Power's career took a hit due to the changing tastes in Hollywood. By the 1950s, he was no longer the darling of the box office. His personal struggles, combined with the Hollywood pressure to maintain an image of perfection, eventually led him to step back from the spotlight and seek solace in family life. Tyrone Power died in 1958 at the age of 44, leaving behind a legacy of great films, but also a tarnished reputation. His life serves as a cautionary tale of how fame, coupled with the corrupt and tumultuous world of Hollywood, can lead even the brightest stars down a dark path. 13. Warren Beatty. The corruption of Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty, a star whose name was synonymous with charm, power, and undeniable talent, rose to fame during the golden age of Hollywood. Known for his captivating roles in films like Bonnie and Clyde and Shampoo, Beatty was hailed as one of the most handsome and charismatic leading men of his generation. However, behind the glitz and glamour of his Hollywood persona, there was a darker side to his career that remained hidden from the public for years. In the 1970s and 1980s, Beatty became infamous not only for his acting but for his numerous relationships with some of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, from actresses to models. Though often praised for his charm and charisma, his personal life became increasingly marred by rumors of manipulative behavior, manipulation of the press, and his notorious reputation as a womanizer. As Beatty's power in Hollywood grew, so did his tendency to exploit it for his own gain. He was known to play the role of a charming gentleman on the outside, but those who worked with him often spoke of his controlling nature behind the scenes. It was said that he used his influence to secure roles, manipulate film projects, and take credit for others' work. His notorious behavior wasn't limited to the bedroom. He was known to manipulate the media, spinning a perfect public image while privately making deals and wielding his power to his advantage. One of the most infamous incidents occurred during the production of Reds, the 1981 film that he not only starred in but also directed and produced. Reports surfaced that Beatty took advantage of his control over the project, manipulating actors and crew members to suit his own vision. He was accused of exploiting the trust of those working for him, ensuring his name stayed at the forefront of both the film's success and its publicity. His desire to control every aspect of his projects contributed to the Hollywood environment of corruption, where the powerful held sway over everyone else. Though Beatty never faced any major legal consequences for his actions, the whispers of manipulation, betrayal, and the erosion of personal integrity followed him throughout his career. Over time, his ability to maintain his stardom seemed to overshadow the darker realities of his persona. While many fans still celebrated his talents and charm, the behind-the-scenes scandals left a permanent mark on the legacy of one of Hollywood's most powerful stars. 14. Marilyn Monroe. The corruption of Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, captivated audiences with her beauty, talent, and charm. However, beneath the glittering surface of her public persona, Monroe's life was riddled with corruption, manipulation, and exploitation. At the height of her fame in the 1950s, Monroe was not only an object of admiration but also a victim of Hollywood's dark side. Despite being a major box office draw, she struggled with personal demons, including mental health issues and substance abuse. Her relationships with powerful men in the industry, including studio heads and politicians, revealed the exploitation and corruption she faced. Monroe was often pressured to maintain a certain image, one that she didn't always feel aligned with, and was frequently used as a pawn in the entertainment machine. The studio system at the time had little regard for her well-being, controlling almost every aspect of her career, from her image to her personal life. She was forced into a contract with 20th Century Fox that kept her working long hours and underpaid, despite her immense popularity. Additionally, rumors about her relationships with influential figures, including President John F. Kennedy, only added to her reputation as a troubled and compromised star. Marilyn's struggles with mental health were often dismissed or downplayed by the industry, with little support offered. Her increasing isolation, combined with the pressures of fame, eventually led to her tragic death in 1962. The mysterious circumstances surrounding her passing have fueled speculation about her involvement in the darker corners of Hollywood, where corruption and exploitation ran rampant. Her story remains a cautionary tale of how Hollywood's corrupt system often preyed on vulnerable stars, sacrificing their personal well-being for the sake of fame and profit. Monroe's tragic fate is a reflection of the industry's tendency to exploit its brightest talents, ultimately leaving many stars like her broken and lost. 15. Elizabeth Taylor. The corruption of Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most iconic and beautiful stars of Hollywood's golden age, had a career filled with accolades, fame, and scandal. Known for her acting prowess, captivating beauty, and a series of high-profile marriages, Taylor's personal life became as famous as her career. Behind her glamorous public persona, however, was a woman whose actions and relationships sparked controversy and fueled the Hollywood machine's darker side. Taylor's marriage to actor Richard Burton in the 1960s became a media sensation. Their relationship was passionate, intense, and plagued by infidelity, drug use, and wild public fights. The affair between Taylor and Burton began during the filming of Cleopatra in 1962, causing a media frenzy as both were married to other people at the time. Their scandalous affair was seen as a betrayal of the very ideals of marriage and loyalty that Hollywood so often projected. Despite the public backlash, Taylor continued to embrace her tumultuous love life. She was married a total of 8 times, and her relationships were often overshadowed by her extravagant lifestyle, substance abuse, and ongoing public feuds. These actions were seen by many as a reflection of the darker side of Hollywood fame, where stars lived in excess and succumbed to their own inner demons. While her beauty and talent were undeniable, Taylor's personal life often overshadowed her professional achievements. Many questioned her choices, including her highly publicized battles with addiction and her reliance on prescription drugs. It was said that she would frequently mix medications with alcohol, leading to erratic behavior both on and off set. Her life became a cautionary tale of the price of fame, with critics arguing that Hollywood's excesses and corruption were to blame for much of her suffering. Taylor's legacy, however, is not solely defined by her scandals. She later became a passionate advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness and used her influence to raise millions for research, showing a more compassionate side to her character. Yet, the corruption and controversy that defined much of her early career are still part of her story, a reminder of the complex nature of Hollywood's golden age, where fame and fortune often came with a heavy personal toll. 16. James Dean. The corruption of James Dean. A star's tragic downfall. James Dean, one of Hollywood's most iconic stars, remains a symbol of youth, rebellion, and tragedy. His rise to fame came quickly in the early 1950s with his unforgettable performances in films like Rebel Without a Cause and East of Eden. However, behind the charming, brooding image that captured the hearts of millions, Dean's personal life was marked by inner turmoil and controversial actions that many considered signs of moral corruption. Known for his defiant attitude and troubled relationships, Dean's off-screen life was riddled with issues. Despite his image as a troubled young man, he often pushed boundaries in ways that blurred the lines between rebellious artistic expression and recklessness. His relationships with women were notoriously short-lived and turbulent, with rumors of mistreatment and emotional volatility surrounding his romantic entanglements. His close friendships with other actors and industry figures also became notorious for their rumored indulgence in substance abuse and late-night parties, adding to his reputation of being wild and out of control. Dean's disregard for authority and social norms extended beyond his private life. His passion for racing cars, which he pursued aggressively, culminated in a fatal crash at the age of 24, cementing his legacy as the quintessential tragic star. While his early death ensured his status as a cultural icon, it also marked the end of a troubled, if captivating, legacy of corruption, not just in the traditional sense of scandal or criminality, but in his reckless pursuit of fame and thrills, which overshadowed his potential as a more grounded, enduring artist. James Dean's story is a sad reminder that Hollywood stardom often came at a steep personal cost. His brief life, filled with both brilliance and controversy, solidified his place in history as not just a star but a tragic figure whose personal corruption contributed to his untimely demise. 17. Montgomery Clift. The corruption of Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift was once one of Hollywood's brightest stars, known for his good looks, intense acting, and undeniable talent. However, his life and career took a dark turn in the 1950s, leading to his personal and professional downfall. Clift's rise to fame in the late 1940s was meteoric, with roles in films like A Place in the Sun, 1951, and From Here to Eternity, 1953, where his brooding charisma captivated audiences. Despite his success, Clift was a deeply troubled man, struggling with his personal demons, particularly his inner conflicts with his sexuality, which he felt forced to hide in the hyper-masculine Hollywood of the time. However, his decline truly began after a horrific car accident in 1956. Clift was severely injured, suffering a broken nose, jaw, and several facial lacerations. Although he was never the same after the crash, he insisted on returning to work shortly afterward. The physical and emotional toll of the accident led him to struggle with substance abuse, particularly alcohol and painkillers. In the years that followed, Clift's personal issues, including his reliance on alcohol, became more public. His behavior on set became erratic, and his once promising career began to wither. Hollywood at that time was unrelenting in its scrutiny of stars' personal lives, and Clift's reputation as a troubled, difficult actor began to overshadow his talent. Despite his continued acting, including his powerful performance in Judgment at Nuremberg, 1961, Clift's personal life spiraled out of control. His struggles with addiction, depression, and loneliness led to his eventual death in 1966 at the age of 45, with his career left in tatters. Clift's story is a tragic one, marked by corruption from within, a combination of personal demons, public scrutiny, and the unforgiving nature of Hollywood that ultimately led to his premature demise. Montgomery Clift's tragic fall from grace remains one of Hollywood's most poignant stories of how fame, addiction, and the pressure to maintain a certain image can destroy even the most promising careers. 18. Frank Sinatra. The corruption of Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, was not just known for his crooning voice and charming persona, but also for the dark side of his career that involved corruption, scandal, and a tangled web of relationships. Born into a world of showbiz glamour, Sinatra quickly rose to fame as a crooner in the 1940s and became an icon by the 1950s. But with fame came temptation, and Sinatra found himself surrounded by the world of organized crime, excess, and influence that would shape his personal and professional life in troubling ways. In the mid-1940s, Sinatra became entangled with mobsters such as the infamous Mickey Cohen and Sam Giancana. His relationship with the mafia wasn't just one of socializing, it went far deeper. Reports suggested Sinatra often used his connections with these criminals to boost his career and exert influence in both the entertainment world and politics. Rumors swirled that the mob helped Sinatra secure his career deals and assisted with public appearances, but his ties to these figures were kept out of the public eye, at least for a time. Sinatra's love life also added to his corruption story. His marriages and relationships, particularly with Ava Gardner and Nancy Barbato, were heavily publicized and marked by turmoil, fueled by Sinatra's intense passion and erratic behavior. His personal struggles, including a history of temper issues, financial problems, and disputes with the press, contributed to the cracks in his carefully curated public image. As Sinatra's career hit rocky roads due to his involvement with organized crime and personal scandals, his connection to corrupt figures further grew. His influence over politicians and businessmen in Hollywood through his mafia ties added to the shadows of his fame. Yet, despite these darker associations, Sinatra's talent remained undeniable, and his influence over American culture continued to thrive. In the end, Sinatra's story became a cautionary tale, a man whose extraordinary talent and fame were intertwined with corruption and moral compromise. His legacy, while largely celebrated for his musical achievements, was inevitably tarnished by his connections to crime and the seedy side of Hollywood. 19. Bette Davis. The corruption of Bette Davis. Bette Davis, one of Hollywood's most iconic and powerful actresses during the Golden Age, built her career on strength, tenacity, and an unyielding desire to control her own fate in a male-dominated industry. While her brilliance and unmatched acting talent earned her numerous accolades, her reputation off-screen was far more controversial. In the early days of her career, Davis was known for her fiery temper, relentless work ethic, and refusal to be silenced. But as she gained power in Hollywood, she began clashing with studio heads, directors, and even fellow actors. Her famous battle with Warner Brothers over her contract became legendary. She was notoriously outspoken, especially about issues related to women's roles in cinema and her frustration with being cast in stereotypical parts. However, it was not just her professional conflicts that garnered attention but her personal behavior and rivalries. Davis's infamous feud with Joan Crawford, which began during the filming of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, 1962, became the stuff of legend. The rivalry, marked by harsh words, sabotage, and mutual disdain, spilled into the public eye, making both women seem corrupt and malicious in the eyes of the public. Davis's personal bitterness toward Crawford, fueled by professional jealousy and animosity, left a trail of scandal that overshadowed the glitter of her career. Behind the glamorous facade, Davis's relationships with those closest to her were often tumultuous. She struggled with her marriages, and her treatment of colleagues, especially those who opposed her, further cemented her reputation as a formidable, often corrupt figure within Hollywood's elite. Her cutthroat nature, while seen as a form of empowerment for women in the industry, also made her a pariah to some. As she aged, Davis's grip on the Hollywood system loosened, and her once unstoppable career began to falter. Yet, her legacy remains complex. A brilliant star who shattered norms but was often seen as a corrupt figure whose battles for power and respect in Hollywood came at a heavy cost. Bette Davis's life was a constant dance between brilliance and scandal, between a desire to maintain control and the inevitable consequences of her defiance. While her talent will never be questioned, the corruption tied to her relentless pursuit of power and success is an integral part of her tumultuous legacy. 20. Lana Turner. The corruption of Lana Turner. Lana Turner, one of Hollywood's most iconic stars of the Golden Age, captivated audiences with her stunning beauty and captivating performances. However, behind the glitz and glamour of her career lay a story of scandals and controversies that painted a darker side to her fame. Turner's most infamous moment came in 1958, when her tumultuous relationship with gangster Johnny Stompanato took a tragic turn. Stompanato, who had a violent reputation, often abused Lana, but she was deeply involved with him. The situation reached a breaking point when, during a heated argument, her teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane, intervened and fatally stabbed Stompanato in self-defense. The incident became a media sensation, tarnishing Lana's image as a glamorous Hollywood star. Despite the public outcry, Lana Turner's career didn't collapse entirely. She remained a major star, but her personal life became increasingly defined by scandal. Her string of tumultuous relationships, including a marriage to a wealthy businessman who was rumored to have ties to the underworld, only added to her notoriety. Her later years were filled with further legal troubles, including another highly publicized divorce and ongoing struggles with her personal demons. Despite the corruption and controversies that marred her life, Lana Turner's legacy as a Hollywood icon endures, with her story reflecting the complex and often dark side of fame during Hollywood's golden age.